Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Today I am reviewing a game that will almost certainly make it into my list of the best games that were new to me in 2025, the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. This is a two-player game from Antoine Bauza and Bruno Cathala, two designers whose names appear on several games I enjoy very much, and it's based on their hugely successful 7 Wonders Duel system. But this isn't just a reskin. It boasts a modified rule set, stunning artwork, beautiful components, and a theme I love. And really, this is just one of those games that does everything right in my book. It's instantly accessible, endlessly engaging, presents hard decisions every turn, and it's thematic enough without the slavish adherence to theme that can bog down games with endless rules and edge cases. Recently on the channel I looked at another two-player Lord of the Rings game, The Confrontation by Reiner Knizia. That has been one of my all-time favourite two-player games for years. Duel for Middle-earth is newer and shinier, and we're still technically in the honeymoon period, but honestly, I think I might like it even more. To set up, one player assumes the role of the Fellowship and takes 15 units and 7 fortresses in gold plus 3 coins. The other player will be Sauron and takes the 15 units and 7 fortresses in silver plus 2 coins. The rest of the coins are set aside as a reserve. The rather lovely map board is placed in the centre of the table, and then the Fellowship deploys 2 units in Arnor, while Sauron deploys 2 units in Mordor. Next, beneath the map you assemble the Quest for the Ring track, which is one of the cleverest damn things I've seen in a board game for quite some time. The track comprises 3 elements, the first of which is a board in 2 parts depicting the journey from Bag End to Mount Doom. You will notice the second half of the board has a series of icons on it representing the final stages of Frodo's quest. On top of the board, you place a clear plastic piece depicting Frodo and Sam, aligning it so their gold ring is highlighting the first space. But you will also note there is another series of icons printed on the clear plastic piece behind Frodo and Sam. This is because, of course, they are being hunted. You place the clear plastic black rider piece so that its black ring is highlighting, low lighting, dark lighting, high darking, whatever. You place it so it's on the first space of the track. Now this is the science bit. During the game, the black rider may get to move. When it does, you move the rider piece along the track and you can pick up any bonuses from icons it passes over on the way. If it reaches Frodo and Sam, Sauron wins. However, Frodo and Sam will also have a chance to move, and when they do, you slide the larger plastic part of the track. In this way, the black rider is dragged along with them. Frodo and Sam can therefore close the gap on Mount Doom, but they can never widen the gap between them and the Black Rider. You will also notice how, as Frodo and Sam get closer to Mount Doom, the spaces printed on the plastic part of the track will overlap the spaces printed on the card part of the track, so there is never any confusion over which bonuses the Black Rider is still in a position to claim. Now, maybe I'm easily pleased, but I find that absolutely charming and mesmerising. Watching the hobbits scurry across the landscape is like watching an old cartoon. It's just beautifully thought out and very satisfying in action. Next, you shuffle the 6 stacks of alliance tokens and place them along the top of the map. There are 3 tokens each for humans, dwarves, elves, hobbits, wizards and ents. You also shuffle the 7 landmark tiles and arrange 3 face up above the alliance tokens. And you shuffle the 3 decks of chapter cards, placing them nearby. The game plays out over 3 chapters, and at the beginning of each chapter, you take the corresponding deck of 23 cards and you arrange the cards in a pattern as shown in the rules book. Some cards in the pattern are face up, while others are face down. Each pattern for each chapter requires exactly 20 cards, which means 3 cards will be set aside. In this way, neither player will know exactly which cards are in play. With setup complete, Sauron takes the first turn. Turns will then alternate for the rest of the game. And there are 3 ways in which you can win the game. Firstly, you can win by completing the quest for the ring. For the Fellowship, this means getting Frodo to the final space of the track and throwing the ring into Mount Doom. For Sauron, it means catching Frodo. The second option is to win the support of all the major races of Middle-earth. If at any point you have won enough cards to have gathered 6 different race icons, Middle-earth rallies to your banner. Finally, you can win a military victory on the battle map by having either a fortress or at least one unit in each of the 7 regions. So there are 3 distinct paths to victory, and there is a lovely tension baked into that design. You will need to work towards specific goals without making it obvious what your strategy is, while also positioning yourself so you can quickly pivot to a different objective if your plans unravel. At the same time, you will be constantly trying to predict and hamper your opponent's actions, often making moves not because they progress your own aims, but because they deny your opponent an opportunity to progress theirs. Best of all, this gameplay is wrapped up in an incredibly lean rule set that takes only moments to learn. On your turn, you can perform one of 2 possible actions: take a chapter card or take a landmark tile. If you choose to take a chapter card, you can select any card from the display that isn't partially covered by any other cards. That means in the first turn, you could take any card from the bottom row. Once cards from that row start being removed, it opens up opportunities to take cards from the second row. Newly uncovered cards are revealed at the end of your turn. Once you have selected a card, you can either discard it in exchange for gold coins equal to the current chapter you are playing, 1 gold in chapter 1 for example, or you can pay any cost on the card and place it in front of you, gaining any benefits associated with it. Some cards, like this grey skill card or yellow gold card, have no cost. You can play them for free. However, most cards require a payment. Some have a yellow circle with a number inside, indicating a cost in coins that you must return to the reserve to play the card. But costs are usually represented by 1 or more skill symbols. For these cards, you can only play them if you have already played grey skill cards with matching skill symbols. For example, consider a game in which we have previously managed to acquire 2 skill cards. One bears the ruse skill symbol, while one bears the leadership skill symbol. Because we have a leadership card, we can take and play this hobbit card from the display, which has a single leadership symbol on it. We don't have to discard our leadership card, we just have to have the symbol in our play area. Ensuring you have the correct skill icons isn't always easy, but if you really need a particular card, you can instead pay 1 coin for each skill you lack. If we continue our previous example, we have acquired the first Hobbit race card, and in chapter 2 we want to gain this second Hobbit race card. It has a cost of 2 ruse skills and 1 leadership skill. We only have 2 of the 3 necessary symbols, but we could still play the card if we chose to pay 1 gold coin to the reserve to cover the 1 symbol we are missing. That doesn't seem like such a bad deal, but we are actually in a fortuitous position thanks to our previous actions. You will note that the first Hobbit card we acquired had a small cooking pot icon in the top right. This matches the cooking pot symbol at the beginning of the cost line of the second Hobbit card. These are chaining symbols. If you have a card in your possession with a chaining symbol in the top right corner that matches a chaining symbol on the cost line of another card, you can claim and play that other card for free. But why do you even need these cards? There are 6 colour-coded suits that all do something different. But I should point out, in a lovely move to make the game more accessible, the designers have also given each coloured suit an identifying shape, which you can see running along the top of the picture. The grey cards are skill cards. While they do not provide any immediate benefit, the ones you play in front of you can be used to pay for more expensive cards later on. The yellow cards are coins. When you play them, you immediately take the specified number of coins from the bank. Blue cards advance your quest for the ring. For each ring symbol, you can immediately move 1 space on the track, advancing Frodo and Sam if you are the Fellowship player, or the Black Rider if you are Sauron. Some spaces on the track have bonuses. If you stop on or pass over one of those spaces while moving, you gain that bonus. These range from gaining a coin to taking another full turn immediately after your current turn. And of course, should the Black Rider reach Frodo, or should Frodo reach Mount Doom, the game immediately ends. The green cards, as we have seen, represent the races of Middle-earth. These may not have an immediate benefit when played, but they do offer some very powerful perks. Most obviously, if at any point you have all 6 race symbols in your play area, you instantly win the game. However, in addition to that, if you ever have 2 matching race symbols in your play area, you can immediately take the top 2 matching alliance tokens from above the map board. You reveal them, pick one to keep, and return the other to the top of the pile. Also, once per game, when you have 3 different race symbols in your play area, you can reveal the top alliance token from each of the 3 corresponding stacks, choosing one to keep and returning the rest. Each alliance token has a unique ability, but one of particular note is the feather in the Hobbit stack. The feather is an alliance symbol for the Eagles and will count as one of the 6 race symbols required to win the game. In other words, if you have this token, you only need to collect 5 of the other 6 race symbols on cards. It's a very sneaky way to steal a win from under the nose of your opponents. Red cards immediately let you place the specified number of units in one of the 2 indicated regions on the map. Finally, the purple cards, which are only in Chapter 3, let you make maneuvers to reposition forces on the map. Another way to reinforce your armies on the battlefield comes not from playing a card, but from choosing to forego selecting a card to instead purchase a landmark tile. As with cards, landmark tiles have a cost, requiring a number of skills. And, just as when purchasing cards, you can supplement your available skills by paying 1 coin for every skill you lack. Additionally, landmark tiles have a coin cost, which is equal to how many fortresses you already have on the map. When you purchase a landmark tile, you get to place a fortress in the indicated region, and then you gain any other one-time benefits the landmark provides. If you purchase Minas Tirith, for example, you can place 1 fortress and 1 unit in Gondor, and then you can advance your piece twice on the quest for the ring tracker. Interestingly, the display of landmark tiles is only refreshed at the beginning of each chapter, so if you can grab 1 or 2 fairly early in a chapter, you can really cause problems for your opponent as you start to flex your military might. Speaking of which, I suppose now would be a good time to talk about war. It's a very simple affair. Whenever you place units into an enemy controlled region, or move a unit to an adjacent enemy controlled region, following the connecting lines on the map, a battle occurs. In a battle, you simply remove 1 of your units and 1 of the enemy units. If there are still opposing units in the region, you repeat the process until at least one side has no units left. That's it. Charge enough units into a region and you can wipe out the opposing forces, but you pay dearly for every step with the blood of your own troops. Fortresses do not cause battles and cannot be destroyed except through the use of some special abilities on cards and alliance tokens, but they are important for determining a military victory to end the game. If you have a fortress or at least 1 unit in all 7 regions, you instantly win. And because you can place a fortress in a region that is teeming with enemy units that would otherwise keep you out, they are a good way to get a foothold in well-defended places. That frees up the rest of your army to spread into other more easily conquered regions. It's a very slick and impressive system. And while you can boil down your turn to a single decision, take a card or take a landmark tile, each option is, in turn, a series of smaller and endlessly interesting decisions. If you want to take a card, which card do you take? Which path to victory is the most important to you right now? Do you want to take a free card to save your coins, or do you want to pay for something more expensive? Do you want to take a card for an immediate benefit, or would you prefer a card that won't help you right now, but could pay off in the future? Do you want to further your own agenda, or stifle your opponent's plans? And do you take a card for its power, or do you take it to deny your opponent and then cash it in for coins? If you want to buy a landmark tile, which one do you go for? The one that lets you place a fortress in a heavily defended region, the one that denies your opponent a chance to gain inroads in your own well-defended regions, or the one that offers bonuses that will help you with a different strategy? Do you try to grab landmarks early, potentially burning a lot of coins? Or do you wait until you have built up a diverse range of skills that will let you take landmark tiles for almost no cost? And despite all of those choices, the game always feels fast. When you know what you are doing, you can easily complete a game in under half an hour, making it a perfect filler before the rest of your game group turns up, or a fun head-to-head duel for a quiet evening with a partner or friend. It is wonderful. Beautiful, elegant, replayable, precious. But that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.